Press. All right, welcome everyone to the tribe. Today I've got Daz with me. The reason why
Hey,
I've invited him is because he, in my opinion, is a very special person. He goes out and does it. He will probably tell you way more about it, but he does jiu-jitsu a lot. He does breath work a lot. He does a lot of reading. Very introspective person, and I've invited him to talk about himself, what he does, and his story. Daz, welcome.
thank you. Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, talk to me about you. Who are you as a person? Let's start off with the basics.
So I was born in New Zealand. Spent most of my life there. Um, three sisters. Yeah. Uh, an okay mother-father relationship at times. Sometimes not so okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that happens
uh,
in life.
yeah. I moved to Australia 2004 um, for reasons of I needed to get out of the situation I was in, which was drugs. Drugs were the big problem in my time then.
Yeah.
So I've decided to leave everything and move to Melbourne, where I found my love for Kyokushin karate. I was in Melbourne.
Yeah,
That's
we
where.
know that one. We know that one.
yeah, yeah. I spent about 5 years there. Then eventually moved to Perth, which was about in 2009. I moved to Perth, and I've been in Perth ever since then. And been doing martial arts since I was 7. Um, that was back in 1984
Since
when
you were 7. Okay, that's
yeah.
impressive. Okay, force to be reckoned with. I can hear that already.
And the interesting thing, the one thing that got me into martial arts was Karate Kid. Karate Kid came in 1984, and I was so in awe of Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was
Yeah. I've
yeah,
seen the movie a couple
yeah,
of times. Why?
yeah.
What caught your eye about him?
He was just this enigmatic guy that was so calm on the outside, but whenever he decided to unleash this storm, it will drop within a few seconds, and then he was able to come back within himself. So
Yeah.
he had this unbelievable control, this control of his this inner storm that he had when he could unleash it whenever he wanted to. That was really the one thing that captivated me about that, and I wanted to be Mr. Miyagi at that age. And I was like, I don't want to be Daniel LaRusso. I don't want to be the Karate Kid, some kid that's learning
No. You
martial.
want to be a mentor. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand that. I understand that.
Mm. And I wanted to be this martial artist that led by doing it. That's what he did. He lived and breathed his ideology.
Yeah.
That's what he did. Yeah.
There's no
And
lies
and I
about that.
think
It's you see it. There's no way of twisting and turning. It's just doing what you say you do.
yeah, and there was one thing. It still sticks in my mind till today. He had this saying that was like, and it's applicable to life as well. Is that you either karate do left side of the road, either karate don't right side of the road. Both are safe. Karate maybe center of the road, squish like grape. So it's like you either do it, you don't half-ass it.
Yeah, that's straightforward. That's a good way. Yeah, it's funny how those movies stick, huh? How those quotes stick and make sense
Yeah,
in life.
yeah. That's pretty much in what life is about. If you want to be good at something, you want something really passionate about something, you do it. If you're not passionate about that something, don't do it. But don't go kind of half-assed through life going, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'll do that. And it's like you'll never get to the point that you want to.
Hey, I like that you go into that. So everybody knows that when they have a good day, they're energetic, everything is going well, they pick up challenges because that's the easiest, because you feel good.
Yeah,
But the hardest part is when life is letting you down, you're out of luck,
yeah,
financially, mentally, and then you take the steps to actually better yourself. And I think you are a good example of that. If you're okay with that, could you talk to me about that, about how you've taken steps to just get out there and
yeah. So the so people that have kind of seen, we mentioned earlier, we're talking about how I gave up alcohol about a year ago,
yeah,
and the it was the reason why I stopped it was because I had this. There was a character associated with me drinking alcohol, and the character was like, I remember my friend telling me this is like, oh man, you are so wild when you're drunk. Like that's the that's the dash, and like that's the one, that's the person that we know. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. It's like, I have to go drink alcohol. I have to get drunk. So this people that recognize me when I was like, yeah, that's the dash. That's dash. But that's not me. That's like that's like you're seeing me like probably 5% of the week doing that. And that got me thinking, um, wow, I've actually used this coping mechanism to kind of give people a false idea of who I was, which, and then I look back at it when I'm sober, it's like, that's not who I am. And then I'm disgusted at seeing that person like that. And that was the kind of the quintessential moment that was like, okay, I need to make a change. Now, what am I going to do to make that change? And this was near so the end of where we 2019. And so what most people do when they, we get, we talk about this resolutions and New Year's resolution, but mine wasn't a resolution. Mine was like, I'm going to stop drinking. My intention is to stop drinking. So I had the idea had been, I put the idea in place. It's good to have the idea, but then you got to have like, okay, how am I going to do it? What kind of, um, what do I need to have in place so I can continuing doing that? What do
yeah,
I
I like
need
that.
to,
I like that. That's
yeah. And for me, like I had to identify what were the cues, to start drinking. And most of the time the cues was being social. So like being social. So how can I stop from still being social, but not getting to that point where I have to get to that crave? Was like, okay, now I need alcohol, the
yeah.
alcohol to kind of feed their craves. So I just stopped being social for. I decided like I've got to stop going out on social outings for the first couple of months, and then so I did that. It's like, now what I'm going to do now since I've got all this free time,
Yeah.
and so this was the plan that I had to put in place. So I had free time. What am I going to do with my free time? Okay, what I can do is like I was doing breath work at the time, but I wasn't doing it religiously every morning. And I decided like, okay, first thing in the morning, I'm going to wake up 5 a.m.,
5 a.m.
do my breath work. Yeah, 5 a.m. I had to make it at 5 a.m. So it stopped me from going out the night before.
That makes
So
sense.
I
Yeah, of
made,
course. Otherwise, you'd be
yeah,
completely fucked for the rest of the day. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Clever.
Yeah. So
Clever.
I had to go 5 a.m., wake up 5 a.m., wake up, do my breath work. Okay,
And
perfect,
can you
done.
go briefly into what kind of breath work this is? Is it more the hypoxic stuff from Wim Hof, or is it free diver, or what are we talking?
Yeah. So this, it's a bit of a mix. It's it is hypoxic, and I use like a 10, 20, 30. And there's a group called, they were O2 at the time, and Awaken, the guy that runs it is Lucas Mack. And he had this series of breathing where you do 10 breaths, open mouth, and then you do a breath hold for 10 seconds. With this breath holds with the meaning you're exhaling all your breath out and holding for 10 seconds. Then do 20 breaths. Do breath hold for 20 seconds. Then you do 30 breaths. Last breath, exhale all the way out, and you hold the exhale for as long as you can. And that usually took around about 3-5 minutes, depending how long my breath holds were or how fast I was breathing. So that was easy. That was a very simple way for me to start my my morning routine. So it was only 3 minutes. It wasn't like I had to spend like a half an hour or an hour. It was only 3 minutes of my life.
You did it before. Yeah.
Yeah. So and doing like a simple habit like that, which makes the task a lot more easier. If I had like set my goals high, I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna do an hour's worth of breath work. Jesus, you'll probably get to like the 15 minutes, like, oh, stuff
Yeah,
this.
fuck it. I still go home. Yeah.
Yeah. You might do it for a week. Then after that, it's like, I haven't got enough time. I've got to do this first, got to do that. So that's when your habit starts, you start cutting off your habits. Like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to do something else.
Yeah.
So having like a easily attainable habit in the morning, which was that breath work, was like 3 to 5 minutes, is easy. I can keep on that. Then I had to have, that was the 3 minutes. So I had to do something else that would keep me occupied. And then I decided to get back into reading. I enjoyed reading a lot, but I wasn't reading as much as I was normally doing. So I gave myself the task of every week I had to read at least one book a week. Didn't matter what type of book it was, but I just had to read. Yeah. Oh, thick it was. Yeah. I just had to read a book a week. So what that forced me to do is like I spent an hour each morning. So I'll do my breath work and I'll spend an hour just reading because I knew like, okay, I've got to keep on track to keep this goal set. Once I started doing it, I had to like do an hour worth of reading. It didn't matter how far I got, but it had to be an hour every single day. Usually I got to around the fifth day and I had finished the book. And then I'll start on another one. So it was like a kind of overlapping, kept on doing it. And after about, I think it was about a month in doing the breath work, doing the reading, and it just become like a natural habit. Straight away, I didn't have to think about it. I just got out as soon as I woke up. I got up, sat in my space in the backyard, did my breath work, grabbed the book, started reading. So there was an autonomy about it where I didn't have to second guess, wake up, it's like, oh, do I really have to do this today? But I was like,
become a part of your personality.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So even it doesn't matter where I am. I could be at my sister's place, I could be friends. I still wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up, do my breath work, have my book next to me, read that. And yeah, it's become a part of me. It's my lifestyle now. So it wasn't like a year goal. It was like, I can do this forever now.
And the reading, would you just pick up a book because it's a book, or did you have a certain scope? Or what kind of books were you reading?
So what I was doing, I had some books that I had already read, but I started rereading them again. And then I decided to go to secondhand bookstores. Here's another thing. I'm an avid collector of records, and I love going like secondhand record stores and what you call digging. So you're digging and trying to find the gold.
Yeah.
I started doing that. I started implementing that with books. So I go to secondhand bookstores and I'll just rummage through and find like bits of gold here. It's like, oh, look at this book. And I'll read the blurb and I was like, yep, I'm getting that book. So I'll grab like 5 or 6 books at the time, but it will be like that. That became like another part of the habit where it was an enjoyable thing. It could have associated me with going to a record store, but now I switch from records to books, and I absolutely love wherever I travel, like small towns, I'll go into the secondhand bookstores and I'll just go through this. And then I'll ask like the people at the counters, like, hey, what do you recommend reading? Have you got anything here that you would recommend me to read? It's like, yeah, go read this, read that. So I take recommendations as well.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
And so what you're basically also telling me is your scope was very, very wide because you get all these recommendations from
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. It was definitely very wide. And then I read read a book by Limitless by Jim Quick. And
Ah, Jim Quick.
he,
Yeah, I know him. I know him.
yes, yeah, yeah. And that was the first time I heard about training yourself to speed read, but not just read fast, but also take in information at the same time. And it was very similar to Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss kind of talks about speed reading as well, and they had the way they approach speed reading, and the techniques that they gave on their books. I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a go. So it became like another, I guess, another task for me to tackle. So I was like, I am going to try and double my speed of reading, and also, but at the same time, kind of retaining information again. And I think it was like after it took a while, but after about 3 months, yeah, my reading speed had doubled, and I was able to go through 2 books a week,
Two
but
books
still
a
retaining
week.
information.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. I'm not able to do that myself. Jesus, how do you do it?
But
How do,
yeah,
can you infer a little bit? Like, how does that work?
because my speed, the rate that I was reading had doubled. Um, I was able to spend, well, my time got cut down, and then I was like, no, could probably do 2 books a week. And then I started doubling up on the books, and I was like, okay. But like I say, that worked for me. It might not work for other people. It worked for me because I just loved reading. I loved information. I loved kind of, I'll alternate between the nonfiction and a fiction book. And I love the information I get from the nonfiction. And then I love the storytelling as well and the fiction books. So I had this kind of going between kind of fact and fiction, fact and fiction, fact and fiction.
And are there any books that have caught your attention, especially like maybe a book that taught you a lesson or gave you an insight or anything in particular?
Oh, um, definitely Limitless. Limitless, he talks about our habit loops, how we start with there's the cue, there's the crave, there's response, and there's reward. And it's always going in that habit loop, and how to stop those habit loops. But there's so many good reads on there. There's The Monk That Sold His Ferrari. Amazing book, absolutely amazing. One of my
Keep talking. I'm actually going
all-time
to write that
favorite.
down. The monk.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
And actually, it's hard to pick. The 2 kind of greatest books of all time for myself is The Alchemist, Paulo
Agree.
Coelho. Yeah,
Totally agree.
yeah. I'll read that. Yeah, read that on the regular, and also have that on audiobook as well, so I can listen to that as well. And what was the other one? Miyamoto Musashi. Yeah, Miyamoto Musashi.
No.
It is it is kind of a his story, but also got underlying kind of I know kind of ways to live your life by. Yeah, I really love that.
And what kind of effect has this had on you as a person? I can imagine people around you talking to you after between that time when you were drinking a lot of alcohol, being a lot of social, to now doing breathwork every single day, reading every day. What have they been saying to you? What have they been noticing?
They have noticed that there's something different, but the one thing that I noticed about them is that people are being a lot more open to me. Yeah, that's funny. They're I don't know what is. Maybe because I'm coming across as I'm more of an open book now, but people are able to come to me and just leave their heart, open their heart, without any judgments. And that's what I've noticed in like the last probably 6 months. Yeah, it's been really crazy. Even like doing breath work, and I've been doing quite a lot of privates lately. And when the people come in, and I'll just ask them like, what do you hear? And then it's just they let it all out. I didn't ask them to say this. Like I was like, oh, what here's like, did your friend invite you? Yeah, it's like, did your friend invite you? Did you find it on Instagram or Facebook? It was like, no, they just like let it all out. I was like, this is amazing. This is crazy.
Well, I can imagine now. I mean, you're constantly working on yourself. You're finding a balance, and I suppose that's what people really need. They need someone they can rely on.
Yeah. And I think if you coming across genuine, it's something that you cannot fake.
Yeah.
If you show yourself for who you really are, people can see it. If people see through fakeness as well, and that's what maybe that's what's happened. Maybe I'm coming across a lot more genuine now. I've got rid of this alcoholic alter ego of myself, having these, the two-face two-faced person. I managed to get rid of that person that had been, he was probably there ever since my teens. I'll probably say he was there, yeah. And then I'll think about it.
Yeah,
And
he was safe. He was simple.
yeah, like that other side of me was he was still protecting me. He protected me from my teenage years. So that was a person that was trying to protect me. But then he hung around a bit too long. And once I got rid of that, then my whole character was starting to show.
And people pick up on that, and that's why everything is moving the way it is, I can imagine.
Yeah. And kind of getting back to the these little challenges I gave myself and kind of habits form. So at first I started with the intention. With the intention, you need energy or action. So you can have all these thoughts in the world, like, oh, I'm going to be this great, amazing person that's going to be present every single day for my friends and family. But if you're not going to really put it into action and put your energy into it, it's never going to manifest. So you need to go from your attention, move your intentions to your energy. So you got to put the energy, your action into it. Then to get that moving, you need to place in small habits. So like I was saying before, not setting the bar too high for yourself, or so you're just going to give up straight away. Yeah. You put in place all these small little habits that build up to that bar. So once you get to that bar, and this is the other thing as well, it doesn't stop at that bar.
No, of course it doesn't, because the sky's the ceiling, right? I mean, you keep as you said for 2021.
Yeah, and that I realized that back in 2018. Coming back to in the start of 2018, me and my wife separated. She separated from me, and then I went in a real dark place. I was already kind of dealing with a lot of depression and all my anxiety, but it actually went deeper. It went in darker. So what did I do? Alcohol. Boom, done.
Yeah, just
every single weekend. Yeah. I was like, hey, there you go. There's the way I'm gonna deal with shit. Grab a bottle, boom.
I mean, that's the reality for a lot of people still.
Yeah. And I was, at that time, I was spending around about 1,500, 2 grand a week on booze, going out, and that wasn't a problem. No shouting friends and just like, pulling out this two-faced Daz character again, showing these people like, look at me, I'm strong, I'm dealing with this, and I'm funny, I'm this guy.
Nothing's going on, all right.
Yeah, everything's all right. And then, then it got to me, and I was like, I can't be doing this every single weekend. And so, and again, I was like, how going to stop this? Okay, I'm going to go into that year, I was into the World Masters, Jiu-Jitsu World Masters in Las Vegas. So same thing, I had to draw up plans, like I'm going to do this, get to there, I'm going to train this X amount a week, I'm going to train in this different places, I'm going to compete every single competition that I can in Australia, do as much as I can before I get to the Worlds. And I did, I got on track, I was doing fine. Got to the World Masters, got there, competed, reached my goal. What do you think happened after that? Got back to Perth. Bang!
Yeah. Empty. Yeah. You've reached your goal, and that was your intention. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So I hadn't even thought past that. I thought like that was the end game, and then I had nothing after that. And my depression went threefold than it went in the start of the year. It went even worse. There was a stage where I remember there was one day at work, and it started compounding one thing after another. Someone started something, and then another thing, and then started going into that deep, quicksand of a hole, and just getting sucked in deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it's just self-talk. I can imagine you're talking to yourself. You're
yeah. And I remember during the day, I was like, I just want to get out of this. I can't fucking get out. I just want to get out of this. I just want to get out of this. And that was a kid repeating the whole day, and it's kept getting worse and worse. I finished work, got home. I had some sleeping pills in my in the fridge. I got the whole bottle. I could chop them all up, chuck them in a glass of water. I was ready to smash that. But it wasn't like I didn't want to end my life. I just wanted to stop what was happening inside my head. It was like, fuck, I want this shit to fucking stop.
You wanted to sleep.
So my rational, my rational thinking is like, at the time, your thinking is not rational when you're going into that deep depression. And my thinking is like, I'm going to put all this amount of like sleeping pills, and that should do it. And I remember looking at the clock. There was a glass that was sitting at the table, looking at the glass, ready to take that. I looked at the clock, and it was 5 to 5. My habit looked in. What my habit was on the Tuesday at 5 to 5 p.m. was like, I'm going to get ready to teach a boxing class. And automatically it switched, and it went from this, in this deep, dark place to like, oh shit, I'll get ready to teach a class. So I'm going around the house trying to find my gears, getting changed, got my boxing gloves, and like, oh, I got jiu-jitsu after that. So I got my rash guard. So I went in automation to doing that. Drove to the gym where I was teaching. When I was driving there, it's like, okay, we're going to run the class. I can do this. Okay, so we got the class, taught the class without even caring. Well, didn't even think of anything. Had jiu-jitsu, got to jiu-jitsu. And I absolutely got murdered. I remember getting murdered in that class. And at the end of it, I remember coming to it and thinking like, holy shit, I nearly didn't make it here. I nearly did not make it here. And then this thought came to my head, martial arts saved my life. And it actually did. I always, man, people say like, yeah, martial arts saved my life. There's like, martial arts literally saved my life.
Yeah,
it literally saved my life. It had switched me from downing all those sleeping pills to teaching a class, then doing jiu-jitsu.
Being there for other people. And that's It's funny how you talk about it. It goes automatically. You didn't even have to force yourself to go there. It's just, oh no, I have to get there.
No, yeah. And then after that, there's like, oh, okay, I seriously got to seek a psychologist. Went and saw a psychologist, and then eventually went on to medication, and that just took the edge off it. And I went to this. There's a group called Mankind Project. They're a
I've heard of that. I've had someone tell me.
Yeah, Mankind Project. They've been around since the end of the 70s, or might be the start of the 70s, is when feminism came in, and then there was nothing for kind of men to kind of turn to if they needed help. So the MKP started in the US, and then eventually kind of spread around the world. So they're a group of men that sit in a circle and help other men, but while helping yourself as well.
Yeah, of course.
So
I mean, you
yeah,
hear other people's problems, you work through stuff yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I these MKP run these. I don't like to call it retreat. It's not a retreat at all. It's like a men's weekend, and they get work done on men that are dealing with a lot of variety of issues, and they do the work over the long weekend. And I went on one of those weekends, and it was like I had a weight, like I was carrying an extra body weight on top of my shoulders, and it just got lifted off. That was a feeling that I had when I had finished it. I can't we can't tell what happens in it because then it takes away from what other men, but the they do like certain processes in there that helps with breakthroughs. That's the easiest kind of explanation I can put towards it. And I remember coming out of that when I had the breakthrough, waking up in the morning and just feeling after probably 30 years or something, waking up feeling gratitude and happiness for a very, very long time.
That must have been refreshing, huh? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And that was sort of the start of me pursuing on this personal change, this personal development journey, which was only starting for myself, like how what can I do to improve more aspects of my life. And that's when I came across breathwork at the time. One of my mates, Lucas, who runs O2, which is Awaken, he was running breath workshops, and I heard about it. To be honest, when he mentioned to me, I was thinking sort of pranayama type breathing. I'm just going to sit there, you kind of breathe for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and breathing, and then learn how to breathe, and then then be like, okay, on your way.
Yeah.
Eventually, he managed to get me to one of his workshops, and fuck me. After that first one, I was like, holy fuck,
How did you
fuck
feel?
was that? It was similar to what I did at the MKP. It was similar to that. And I think it was more like, are you kidding me? Just doing that does this? Yeah. Just breathing does that? and it's I just mean what I kind of went through. I was kind of my mind was playing this show of my life, and I was kind of going in and out certain parts of my life, and then all of a sudden I came back to this. I was in my bedroom when I was a child, and I remember that because there used to be this. I was a lampshade, one of those hanging lampshades, and I remember I had these two swallows on it, and I remember and that kind of came to me. It's like, what is this? And then it's like, what am I doing back in here? And then all of a sudden, I just felt this, this love just kind of overflow me, and it's like, oh my god, I haven't felt this.
Are you sure it's just breathwork, nothing else?
Yeah, I was like, because I gave away like, they had like bottles of water, like, okay, here and then here's some bananas, like, what the fuck did you put in that water?
Yeah, that's a normal thought.
Yeah, what did you put in that water? It's like, no, you were just breathing. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, and then that's when I started researching more and more on breathwork, and then that's what I kind of came across Wim Hof, and then the cathartic type breathing. Everything it just went down this rabbit hole, and I started researching more, and then like, I want to learn how to do this mainly for myself. So learn how I can do it for myself, kind of more of a self-healing for myself. So I went on YouTube, and there were like a lot of guided breathwork sessions. And then I was like, I want to learn something about it. And then I kind of researched a bit, researched around, see the different types of facilitators and teachers. And it's funny, the one guy, John Paul Creamy, he, I remember watching one of his, it was on a YouTube video. He was showing like how he teaches people and what he had done for his life. And the one thing that sold me on him, he was explaining, there's a triangle, it came to like a triangle of what happens, there's physical, mental, and emotional. And then he started with about this triangle, and then he started going about jujitsu. It's like, oh, say when they're doing a triangle, like these 3 points of contact, it's like, buddy, you've sold me on that. You've sold me on that. If this ain't a sign, I don't know what is. I'm going with you.
Yeah.
And the way that he taught his courses and taught how to do it was exactly the way that I would teach martial arts or teach as a class. And it's like, this just resonates deeply with me. You can learn from the best in the world, but if you don't resonate with them, it doesn't connect with you, then you're not going to learn anything at all.
No, absolutely.
It's like you need to find, it's like your sensei finds you. That's what, you find your sensei. Yeah.
I agree. If you don't accept your teacher, you're not going to learn anything, because you're going to have to be sensitive. You're going to have to take in that information. I agree.
Yeah. And so that's where I started learning how he taught. And then after that, I just started going to different people that were delivering. I wasn't going there trying to emulate what they're doing. I was going to their workshop to figure out, how can I make this better? How can I improve? What is something that they are missing that I can help improve on it? And the one thing that I found, I'm not disrespecting them at all.
No.
But
go ahead.
Yeah. Not disrespecting at all, but coming from a martial arts background, fundamentals. You have to build your fundamentals first. So what I noticed is like, they weren't teaching people how to breathe, how to breathe properly from the ground up. They were starting like, this is how you breathe, gonna breathe like this. It's like, okay. So you're pretty much chucking me in a deep end and learn to swim. Where I always have this mindset of, when I'm teaching someone, they are a white belt that's just stepped into class.
Yep.
They've never done anything like this before. And they don't know how to step. They don't know how to stand. And so you have to start from the bottom, the absolute beginning, then start building them up towards it.
So can you walk me through that process? Let's say I am where you were about 1.5 years ago, and I'm in a very dark place, and I want to take charge of myself. I've just been to the Mankind Project, and I can see, hey, I can actually heal myself, and I want to get into the breath work. What would you right now tell me? What's the first thing I should do, and how would you train them?
So is this in a workshop environment, or someone that's turned up to workshop, or just someone in general that
let's workshop. Let's just, as the instructor, what would you tell the person?
Okay, so I'll explain to the person as like, first, why are you here?
Intention.
What brought you here? Yeah, your intention. Why are you here? That's what the stuff thing. Then I explained to them like, what do you expect to get out of here? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, why? What do you expect to get out of it? Then I'll explain to them like, do you know how to breathe? And everyone will go like, yeah, exactly. And it's more of a joke, kind of the break in the ice, where they go like, you know how to breathe. Like, oh yeah, let them breathe. And then I'll tell them like, yes, but I'm going to teach you how to breathe properly. But I start with them like, breathe how you normally breathe. I just want you to breathe how you normally breathe, and just kind of getting in touch how they normally breathe. No, kind of like, okay, take 4 breaths in, 4 seconds in, hold it 2 seconds out. Just like breathe how you're normally breathing. and just placing their hands on the stomach so they can feel their body moving, so they can feel, because a lot of times, because our breathing is unconscious, because we don't need to think about it. We need an automated process. Because if you were going the whole day thinking about, okay, I've got to breathe in into my diaphragm, into my chest, breathe out, then
Sounds very tiring.
it's gonna very tiring. Yeah. So just get into the feel of your body, just to feel what's happening with your body, getting in touch with, okay, back in my body again. Close your eyes, feel how you're breathing. What's your stomach doing when you're breathing? If you're breathing in and it's going the opposite direction, change it. If you're breathing in, when you're breathing in, make sure your stomach's pushing against your hand. We're breathing out, make sure it's deflating. And just starting those small steps there, just getting feeling in their body. And then it's like, okay, you're here now, just start breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Yep, simple. Okay, now just start breathing a little bit deeper. Let's add a little bit deeper, then, okay, a little bit deeper again. Okay, take those pauses at the top, take the pauses at the bottom out. Yep, doing that. Okay, now start breathing through your mouth. Big breaths, relax it out. And before they know it, they've gone through these small little steps and they're breathing properly without kind of having to think too much about doing it, without giving so much information at the beginning. To start in little small steps, start those little small, like I was saying before, small habits make up to the end target.
Small steps,
yeah.
A big structure in the end.
Yeah. So you're just starting off these small steps, building onto that, building on top of that, and they're breathing consciously without. It sounds kind of paradoxical. They're breathing consciously without even thinking of it. They're breathing consciously without even thinking about it.
Can I share a brief thing with you?
Yep.
So I've been noticing this huge thing. Like I do BJJ now twice a week, and I have quite a bit of judo experience. And the difference between judo and BJJs, they're similar, but there's holes. So I'm doing all right, but I'm struggling. And I can tell when I'm sort of losing control, when I'm getting too tired, and I'm on the ground. I just fought someone, and they walk away, and the next person comes in, and the first thing I do is I go. As soon as I exhale, you just feel all the stress dissipate.
Yeah.
But you know what? What's interesting too? The person walking up to you, it intimidates the hell out of them.
It does, yeah. It does. I remember I was at a comp and I was at the bottom side control, and the guy had the crossface, had his shoulder, and it was putting so much pressure, and I could feel my breathing was starting to speed up. I started hyperventilating, and they're like, no, I caught it. I slowed my breathing down, and I just let it be, because the guy's ear was right against my mouth. I breathed in, and I just went, and relaxed out. You know what the guy did? He freaked out. He let it go. He's like, this isn't doing nothing. But he could have submitted me with a crossface. He had his shoulder in there. It's like, oh man, I'm going to tap to this soon. And I don't know why. I just decided, and I, practice what I preach. Just breathe. No, If the physical side of things, just breathe. And I did that. But it was a loud verbal, like,
which is opposite of what he expected, which caused stress. That's interesting.
Yeah. So he stopped and he had to change his position. It was like, but I still kept my kind of calm, kind of stoic, kind of face there. It's like, yeah, nothing happened, but inside I was like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah, but if you think about it, that's a superpower. Not just the breathing, but if you look at you as a person, for starters, you're able to defend yourself very well. In my mention. Any place you go to, you're able to take action because I can run, I can attack, I can take someone down. And if things get heated up, you get stressed, you at that moment okay, hold on, I've got a tool. I just start breathing.
That's
That's power. That's
that
power.
is yeah, like the you're changing the situation by a simple thing as breathing. But I say, like, it is simple, but not easy.
It's practice.
Yeah, yeah, it's practice. Like the idea of it is simple, but to do it, yeah, it's not easy. It takes practice. Um, it's with anything, no, any martial arts. When you start off martial art, you know, you you're so tense, you're holding your breath. It's like, oh, because I did Kyokushin for years. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I can handle this. I can handle BJJ. I went to BJJ and I was like, I was white belt again. I was holding my breath, and I was like, and I remember my professor at the time, he was like, just relax, just breathe through it in this Portuguese voice, just breathe, relax, breathe. They're like, you're trying to kill me, you're trying to choke me.
Like, shut up, I'm
yeah. And then once you gone through this, like, oh, it is, that's it, it's what I had been doing for martial arts anyways. It's kind of that composure, and that's what it is. That's what breathing brings back your composure.
I like that word. I like that word a lot. I like that resonates with me.
Yeah, it just brings back your composure and able to see what's happening right now, and then work with
There's
what's happening
something
in
that
front of
that
you.
my coach back in the day would always instill in us. Back when I was young, it would be the simplest things. It's, let's say you're the coach and you're showing technique, and we just did some sparring, so my gear is all over the place. What I do at that moment,
Mm.
I make my gear look nice. I put everything in the right place and right
Yeah.
order. I sit
Mm.
down in a proper way, and I'm not leaning to the left, to the right. I'm
Yeah.
looking at you. I've got my shoulders drawn back. So if anyone on the outside were to look at me, he would see a person that's in the moment, in control.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that
And
word
that.
composure.
And that's the um it was Shihan Judd Reed. He used to always say, when you finish your kumite, always bow to each other and stand strong. So, don't show that you're out of breath or that, and it just forced you to kind of, you know, just bring that composure back again. Just straight away, as soon as you finish, you're bowing off to it and you stand strong. And that's what used to, especially like I used to win, especially if like the fight was draw, there was no definite winner, and used to come down to who was standing strongest at the end. Who's the one that was standing that looked like they were unaffected? And the judge would look at that, oh, that guy's kind of slumping over. He's kind of out of breath. But the other one, he looked like he's still ready to go another round. And that's how I kind of doing a lot of refereeing as well. When it came to like a draw, is like, okay, who's the one that's more composed? That guy. Boom. He wins.
Yeah, because
Or
he's
they
able
win.
to think more. He's able to plan more. He's expended less energy.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
it's like you're ready to go again. It's the fight. The fight's not over when the match stops.
no.
Yeah, it's not over when the match stops. No, the fight is always, you're always kind of like, I'm keeping this calmness. I'm keeping composed every single time. Walk off the
If
mat.
you're
I'm still
that
composed.
composed, you're also more in control, and be in the long run, you're coming to BJ become a good fighter. Well, that's a big part of it. And whenever you want to
Yeah,
take in that information, and whenever you want to move well, that requires one thing and one thing only: calmness. Because
yeah,
if you're stressed, you're
comes.
not
Yeah,
taking anything in.
yeah. And
And
it just ruined, like, stress is like the worst thing that ruins like your cognitive abilities. Your cognitive abilities go right out the window.
yeah, I've seen that a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as stress comes along, it's like sweep, boom, on your back.
Hey, talk to me about jujitsu. Your passion. Like, how do you view it? Do you have any truths? Do you have any principles? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's been kind of one of those martial arts that I understand what it is. I understand it now. I really understand it. I understand that it's you can stop whenever you want. You know, you can. go as far as you want. You can go as hard as you want. But at the end, you can decide when it stops, or the other person decides when it stops. And for me, like I'm 43 now, I can't go hard every single time.
No, no. You break
Yeah,
down at some point. I mean, you still look
yeah,
young enough, but
yeah. And I can't, especially when I come against younger guys, and they just go and go and go and go and go. And I had to kind of implement my experience, kind of like, okay, I've got to just slow them down. I'll kind of get them trapped into where I want, where my game is, where the game that I want to play, and forcing the other person into that game. And then as soon as I get stuck into their games, like how do I get back again? And it is, well, what I've seen in like nearly 7 years now, what I've seen in that time of practice with jiu-jitsu, it is the biggest ego killer ever.
oh yes,
Oh man,
absolutely.
it is the biggest ego killer ever. And especially now, I remember my first 2 years, I was just like, I'm not tapping into that. I'm not tapping into that. I was like, nah, no, I'm not going to tap to that ever. Now I realize it's like I was I could have progressed a lot further. Tapping is not a sign of weakness. Tapping is not like, okay, yes, I got caught. I know that I did something wrong. Now, how can I stop that from happening again? So you kind of reassess, go back, like, okay, I did that, and that's where I got caught. Okay, now I'll do it again and see if I can change the outcome the next time. I get caught again, but third time, hopefully not. But it's the, I just love the learning curve of it, the way that they do say when you lose, you win, and you definitely lose. When you lose, you do get wins. I've got all the competitions that I've done where I've lost. I enjoyed the losses more because I got more out of it. I was able to go back. My coach was able to see how I got caught, and then I worked on it, trying to eliminate that gap. So just improving bits and pieces, one piece here, one piece there, which comes back to that, small little habits, for they form the big side. So
Structure,
just
yeah.
take this, yeah, structure, yeah. Just taking those little, improving a little piece here, a little piece there. Then over the space of time, you can look back and see like, oh wow, I really have come that far from when that one specific point, and I've improved on that. My first comp, I got caught in the guillotine. The guy, I don't know what the hell he did. He kind of did a monkey scramble over my back, came back in the front and caught me in the guillotine. And I was like, what the hell happened there?
He kind of earns that move.
Yeah. And we're good. We're really good friends. And I always bring that up every time because he's got a school that teaches that. And when every time I visit there, it's like, oh yeah, I still remember the day George jumped over my back and caught a guillotine out of nowhere. But ever since then, I kind of worked on, okay, I'm never going to get caught in the guillotine ever again. And I haven't been caught in the guillotine ever again because I worked on that. It's like, I know what I did wrong, and then I know how to escape it now. So I worked on that, and haven't been caught in the guillotine since then. I just love the way how, jiu-jitsu humbles you. It humbles you, and it gives you so many lessons, just not just in like the techniques, but in life as well. If you get some 140 kg guy on top of you, his chest is in your face, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything, but the one thing, and when I get those situations, like, what can I do? What can I have control of? I can't move this. He's kind of trapped me underneath her side, a bloody heavy side. Kind of whatever I got control of. I was like, okay, I can still breathe. That's good. Yep. I'll just keep on breathing. I can keep on breathing. And that's what I still use. I love using. It's like, don't put all your energies into the things that you can't control. Put everything you can into things that you can control.
100%. That
Yeah,
hit the mark. Yep.
yeah. Because if I start putting all this shit into like, uh, uh, that is out of my control, I'm gonna put everything into that, and then it's wasted energy. It's energy that's getting going to nowhere. It's not doing anything for
Yeah,
you.
you're
What
going in the
can I
dark.
control? Yeah. What can I control? Like, all right, I can control my breathing right now. Good. Ah,
You
okay,
can
that feels
think,
good.
what does
Okay,
he have?
what is?
And
Yeah, yeah,
if I lose control, what can he get? I mean,
yeah.
the worst position is when he's got his arm around your neck. But is he there yet? And
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. Can I still move? Yes, I
yeah,
can still move. What part of the body can move? Oh, I've still got this arm that can move. I can get inside there, that little space there. Okay. Am I still
and
breathing? Yes.
I gotta say, I feel that passion for BJJ that you're talking about. I understand that. And to me, it's all about finding the worst possible positions where there, as you say, a guy over 100 kilos is right on top of you. He pushes all the air out of your lungs, and all you do then is, I'm just gonna wait. I know
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
nothing right now. I'm uncomfortable as hell, but you've got nothing right now. I'm just gonna wait until you make a little mistake, and I'm gonna be right on top of you. Until that moment,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like I say, start panicking when they got a limb and are about to set up in a submission position, or they got a choke on. That's when like, okay, time to panic on the inside, not on the outside.
yeah. Composure. Have you ever blacked
Yeah,
out?
composure.
Have you
Oh
blacked out?
yeah. I haven't blacked out while rolling. I've blacked out when the instructor has used it as a dummy for the class.
Kidding.
I had blacked out. He was showing his pressure. His pressure was so. Cause he learned under Barbosa, and Barbosa in Brazil, they're renowned for their pressure when they get in side control. And once they get that shoulder on you, it's lights out. And it was showing the class like, okay, this is how you set the pressure. And it's like, and a lot of times, like when you push that, they're either going to tap or they're going to roll away. And it was like, I was about to roll away, and then next minute I kind of wake up, I was sitting up, and it's like, what just happened? And then everyone's staring at you.
Did you have the dream? Did you have the loop in your head?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your experience? What did you see?
When I remember, I don't remember. I just remember the lights went kind of like purple, and I just remember the loop that was going on is, but it's like I remember I kind of repeating. I was going either tap or roll away, tap or roll away, tap or roll away, and then I came out, and then it's all of a sudden it was like bang, you're on the ground, bang, you're sitting up, and then everyone's looking at you.
Yeah. Thinking, what the hell happened? No,
Yeah.
I've never been fortunate enough to black out, but I've heard amazing stories of people reliving their childhood and stuff, and having
Oh,
these.
yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want that.
The old the life of your life flashes before your eyes.
Look, you know how to deal with it. If you can do it in training, if you can do it in a controlled environment, you can do it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. And actually, like I've been with this new gym for the last 6 months, and I love the way because they do a lot of positional type training. So if there's a comp coming up, all right, guys, you're starting in the worst position possible. Get out of it. I don't care how you do it, just get out of it. You get out, the other person goes. They get out, switch. So you keep switching back, forward, back, forward. And so it's good. It teaches you to, like I said, get to that composure. No, you're in the worst spots ever. Okay, what can I do here? Okay, the same thing. I can still breathe. Okay, where am I going to move? And you might move the wrong direction and get caught. It's like, okay, I can't
And
move
you
that
learn.
up because you're doing the same position. It's like, okay, I did that last time. I'm not going to move that direction because it'll catch you on that. So you try something else. So it was a chance for, you're doing like it is positional rolling, and you are getting sort of that now you get in the resistance as well, but you're just working on one position, and you're working out, okay, what are my options from there? I can do there. I can't go that, but I can't do that. That's not going to work there. I'll these are the options that I have to, well, for me to get, because you can teach like certain techniques will work for certain people. They won't work for everyone. The
No, no, of course.
concepts, yeah. If you have the concepts, yeah, then you have to kind of change it for yourself. But people that teach, okay, this is how you get out of side control. You must put your arm onto their hip there, get this underhook there, then hip escape, shrimp out, turn right, then you can. I was like, yeah, but what if the guy is 140 kgs? How does someone like smaller do that? I have to change it. I have to get into like little gaps or something. And that's where I found like positional rolling really works, because you kind of find out what works for you,
Yeah.
what kind of techniques works for yourself.
You sort of get the end
Just
point. Like you don't want to get here, but if you get here, what
yeah,
do you do?
yeah. It's it's more kind of working with the concepts, he's got a frame, or it's like, I've got to eliminate one part of his base out. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I got to take one of his base out so I can sweep, or I need to get his hips up somehow so I can get it underhook.
Yeah, or
So,
getting his
you
weight on
work in
top of
those.
you, or take control of
Yeah,
his
yeah,
legs, take control of his arms.
yeah. And then it also works for the other person as well. The other person is like, what if they're holding and they're like, okay, he got out of it that way. How do I stop him from getting there to escape? And it becomes more of like a reciprocal type of training, where it's kind of he's escaping, and then he's learning how they escape, so he's stopping him, and then he's like, okay, he's worked out how to stop me from escaping. Now I have to work out how do I go from here when he's
Kind of
doing
like a
that to go
dance,
there,
man.
and then yeah, it is. It is a dance. Yeah, it is a dance. The I I remember like someone talking about is like, when you're doing a dance, it's not the end of the dance. It's not the end of the dance. Or like when you're writing music, it's not the end of the song. It's like doing the dance and playing the music. And that's the main reason why you do it. Like you could get to the end game. Again, you have jiu-jitsu, of course, and I finish with a submission, but it's what we do in between. It's like that's where the gold is, the in between, like the learning stage. Learn like, okay, how do I control that? How control this? How can I control that?
Stay
What do I
calm.
need to? Yeah, how do I stay calm? It's like, what if he does this? What if he does that? And then you get to the end. But so it's that part in between. That's for me myself. That's what I find. That is the gold of it. I love that part in there. It's it's because it's always changing. It's always changing, and there's the finish always remains the same. They're by submission, tap out, will choke out. But the part getting there, it's always it's always forever changing. It's
Yeah.
never staying stagnant. As soon as it stays stagnant, it's like, what are you learning? Like
Yeah, you
that
better just
person
let go
knows.
and reset.
Yeah. That person, it becomes a stalemate. It's like, you ain't advancing, I'm not advancing, nothing's happening. We're not getting anywhere here. We're just going to give up here.
Well,
So
I
the
want to
stage
drop
is like,
a final thing, and you've probably gone through this yourself. As I said,
mhm.
I'm still somewhat inexperienced, but I love going against someone that's far superior than you are. Like you probably know Chris Freeman from Musubi Dojo.
Yes, yep.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
cocky, but he's great. He plays around, he moves around, he can see, he thinks, and whenever I go against him, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I'm gonna let you take it, but I just want to see, what are you doing? If I do this,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
respond? And he has this nasty way of making it seem like you got out, and then all of a sudden he's got you in a twist, and okay, tap. It's just you see that
he
skill.
yeah. Yeah, he set up his chess pieces well before you thought about that.
Yeah, he's done it numerous times.
Yeah, I was watching, I can't remember the name of there was like a movie on this child prodigy chess player. He was quite young, he was about 7, 8. And I remember there was a game that he played, and he was 10 moves out from making checkmate. And he said to the other guy, "Is like, do you want to give up now?" And he's like, "No, you haven't won yet." and he kind of looks like, "Look, I'm giving you a chance to, we can call this a draw if you want to." He's like, "No, you haven't won yet." And then he kind of gave this kind of eye roll. I was like, okay, we're going to have to go through this 10 moves so I can show you how you lost. And that's and that's what it's like, when, especially when you get to like these high level guys and from the start off, when they pull guard and they got these grips set, and it's like, oh shit.
They've already got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's the same with judo. It's a battle of the grips. Once they get the grips that they want, boom, epon.
Yep.
It's like that battle of the grips. Once the grips are initiated, it's like, okay, go into that throw. Same with the once the guard, especially if like whatever your game is, if a person gets their specific guard, pretty much done and over. And if they're like a higher level, they have like that matrix of like, if it does this will go to there, but I'm eventually going to lead back to my end where I want this to finish. And I remember seeing it's one of the Brazilian guys, and I remember he posted up on Instagram how the week there was training, the guy from they were working on this this armbar from turtle position. So he would jump on the other side, then attack the armbar, and it was over. And watching the match, and he had 4 chances to finish the match off, and like a rear naked choke. I think he had a Kimura guillotine, but he stopped it because he wanted to finish, and that armbar that had he been drilling the whole week. So he had all these submission positions, and he let it go. Yeah, he wanted to finish it, and like, this is my plan. I wanted to finish in this armbar. So what he did, he was getting when he got to the submission, he was slowly leading the guy to get to turtle position. So he was setting these traps up eventually, so he would go to turtle. Well, most of the times, once the times you go to turtle, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to turtle because I feel a lot safer there. The guy's not on my back. He can probably get my back, but he can't kind of get to mount. He can't get to side control. He can't take my leg, can't take my arms because in turtle. But he wanted to he baited the guy, set up all the traps, got to turtle. And remember the commentary is like, and this was when it ended. when he went to turtle. When the guy went to turtle, it was like, this is when it finished. And he hadn't got to the position. Like, once the guy got to turtle, it was like, this is when the game ended. And then he just made his way to his armbar position and finished.
That's such control. Wow. Hey, Des, before we wrap up this conversation, is there anything you would like to drop? Is there any kind of wisdom you would like to instill into people listening, or anything else?
Just that's what I said before. Don't waste your time and energy into things you can't control. Put all that into the stuff and the things that you can control. Once you do that, you will notice a massive shift in yourself, big time.
That's cool. And you've embodied that, of course, with your breathing. DJ. And
Yep. The guy that cuts you in front while you're driving, you can't control anything after that. Just like, okay, just control what you do driving. Get to the point we need to go.
Control your response to.
Don't let their poison you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, and if someone were to think, hey, I like what Des is saying, I would like to know more about him, where would they be able to find you? Maybe something, Instagram or Facebook or.
You can check me out on Des Monstro on Instagram, or you can follow Soul Essence Breathe. That's on Instagram and Facebook. So I have those 2 pages there. That's my my breath workshop site. So I post a lot of stuff on there, a lot of content on there as well.
That's yours. I didn't know that. So,
well, then you I kind of keep that low. Yeah, I kind of keep that low. I let the work do itself. I'm just like that. I'm just the passenger on that ride.
Yeah, look, whenever you want to go for success, you don't want to hunt it. It has to be a result of passion.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Definitely.
Okay. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody listening, and Des, I would like to thank you a lot for the time you've invested in this conversation.
No worries. Thanks, Willem. Thank you. I loved it.
I love the way you structured everything, and you use the same principles for breathing and your life and getting out of trouble. It's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you very much. Thank you, people. Thank you for listening, watching. Um, yeah. Be safe. Enjoy life.
I like that. And